Graham's office, Debbie.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Ministry of Defense of Turkey. Could we transfer the call to the senator?
Yes, just one second. He's on the floor voting, but we're going to have to try to reach him. So bear with me, okay? Just one second.
Okay.
Sir, I have Senator Graham online.
Okay, I put through. Okay, Minister is online.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Minister. Lindsey Graham. Hello.
Oh, good day, Mr. Senator.
Well,
thank
I really
you.
appreciate you calling me. Thank you for calling me.
Me too. Thank you for taking the time to have such an important conversation.
Yes, I want to make this a win-win if we can.
So, I know that you have already held the talks with my colleague, the foreign minister.
Yes, foreign minister. Yes.
Yes. And therefore, I would like to talk to you through my ministry. And
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Probably you know, yesterday I talked with your new secretary, Esper. And
I did not know that.
Yes, we are trying to find a common ground on the safety line.
Yes, good.
Which is not easy for us.
I know.
As far as I understand, President Trump has entrusted you with these negotiations. And
sort of. Let me tell you what he told me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to impose sanctions on our ally Turkey. I want us to move toward a free trade agreement. And I've convinced my Republican colleagues to stand down, that right now the system's not activated, so there's no reason to talk about sanctions. And I'm hoping you can work with our military to get the S-400 in a good spot so that we can move to a free trade negotiation.
That's perfect. And yes, that's a good news. And I know, but first I would like to say that the purchase of S-400 is an internal matter of Turkey, but so our president thinks that it could be like an invasion in our internal matter, as to let you know, probably. So, and I also is interested to make our free trade agreement if it's possible.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing we can do to improve the relationship is to marry up the economies, have a free trade agreement. That stabilizes the lira. That makes the relationship more strategic. And the problem with S-400 is that if Turkey activates it, other people want to buy it, and that's going to really put pressure on our alliances, and we're pretty firm about that. And I'd like to get Turkey back into the F-35 program. So my hope is that we can find a way around the S-400 issue that works for everybody, and we can turn the conversation to a free trade agreement.
Yes, but what has President Trump said about the free trade agreement?
Okay, so he told me to call President Erdogan and make this offer. So what I'll do, I talked to the foreign minister. I'll try to get over to Turkey because I need to go to Pakistan too, as we're trying to wind down the war in Afghanistan. But basically, here's what President Trump told me. He said, work with Turkey to avoid the S-400 problem, that he will empower the Commerce Department and the International Trade Representative to open up free trade negotiations. He really likes President Erdogan, and we have a goal to increase trade. But I told the president it shouldn't be a goal to increase trade. It should be a formal trade agreement. Mm-hmm. And he agrees. That's instead of having a goal of $75 billion in trade, we should have a free trade agreement which would have unlimited trade potential.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, but you know that it's hard to make our president to stop.
I know it's hard, and all I can say is that I have been trying to stop sanctions based on receiving the S-400. I'm saying that's not a substantial transaction. As a friend, and I really do appreciate our alliance with Turkey, you've been very helpful with ISIS and other matters. If the system gets activated, our law is just going to take over. It's a $4 billion system. I know that. The F-35 program is $10 billion in economic benefit to Turkey. But a free trade agreement, I think, would be probably the best thing that could happen to both economies. So just keep talking with the Secretary of Defense. But the president told me to tell President Erdogan that he wants to turn the discussion to a free trade agreement. And I can set up a phone call between the two presidents if you want me to. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you want me to do that?
Yes, sure. Okay.
And I'll be on the phone. I'll be on the phone call.
Oh, okay. Yes. I will also tell to.
Why don't you report back to your people that Senator Graham is willing to try to set up a phone call with President Trump where we can talk through this about the free trade agreement and the S-400. And I will only do that if it's okay with President Erdogan. I don't want to do anything that would embarrass him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's a great news. I think that it's all what we need. But you know that we are against any sanction policy. And
well, me too. I understand. I mean, our law is very clear on this about if it's activated, and this is just a problem we're going to have with other countries. And no, I don't want any sanctions. And the reason we don't have sanctions now is because I've helped President Trump with the Republicans say, no, let's don't sanction Turkey. Let's work through this. And all of the Republicans are really excited about a free trade agreement. It helps both economies.
Yes, that's good. But you know that Russia is not our enemy. And I think my position that Russia is not enemy to the world.
Yeah. Mr. Minister, I'm trying to be as helpful as I know how to be. If the 400 system gets activated, it will be impossible to stop the sanctions, and it'd be impossible to have a free trade agreement. So what I'm trying to do is find a way to help Turkey with the dilemma with the S-400, see if we can work through this problem and change the conversation from an area of disagreement to an area of agreement, which is a free trade agreement.
So I really worry about the position of my president. So
yeah, I do too. And I don't know what to tell you other than I am doing all I know to do. And President Trump is very sympathetic to the situation of President Erdogan, but the Congress is not sympathetic. The Congress, Democrats are not sympathetic at all. And we've lost some Republicans here when it comes to Turkey. And Turkey is too valuable of an ally to get in a dispute with. We need to end this dispute and talk about something and move to a stronger relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm trying everything I know. your YPG Kurdish problem is a real problem. I told President Trump that Obama made a huge mistake in relying on the YPG Kurds. Everything I worried about has come true, and now we got to make sure that Turkey is protected from this threat in Syria. I'm sympathetic to the YPG problem, and so is the president, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what I want to do is make sure that Turkey is not threatened by any settlement in Syria. I want to make sure that Turkey has a stronger relationship with the United States under President Trump, that you get back in the F-35 program, and that we don't sanction our friends. That's my goal.
That's a good news. So what we can do?
What do you want me to try to set up a phone call between the two presidents?
Yes, yes. When we can do that?
I'm going to be with him next week. So, do you want me to call you back to make sure he's willing to talk? I'm sure he will be. Do you want me to call you back?
Yes, I can. We are in touch with your office. So.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll mention this to the president in the next couple of days and recommend that he talk directly with President Erdogan. I'll get the Secretary of Defense on the phone and see if we can work through this. Then the president could announce a free trade agreement negotiation. It would be a really win-win for everybody. So why don't I get back with you in the next couple of days about where President Trump's willingness to make a phone call to President Erdogan.
Yes, okay, but at first I would like to want to ask you, can we make it like some at first unofficial our conversation? I mean, like.
Say again. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, like not make it unofficial. I mean, not to
make it unofficial.
Yes. I mean.
Yeah. We'll make it quiet.
Yes.
Yes. I will. I think the president would prefer that too.
Yes.
To have a quiet conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
And my advice would be is to have the two presidents talk. Have you on the phone with our Secretary of Defense, and maybe somebody from state, and I'll be on the phone, and see if we can find a plan that would be acceptable to the Congress, enough of us, and then maybe move into a more formal conversation about a free trade agreement.
Yes, and can I ask you a few issues that I'm interested in? It's just to tell to our president advisors. They asked me to ask you.
Sure.
At the same time, you know that the situation around Gulen, who wanted to carry out a coup in Turkey, and
Gulen. Yeah, the FBI is still working that case. So the FBI is they're making progress toward criminal. They've opened a criminal investigation. I don't know the status of it.
So I mean, can we talk to between our sides, and if we'll stop to buy S-400 and
I don't know if you can do that, Mr. Minister. I don't want to get our president in trouble of making deals like that, but let's just get him on the phone and see where it goes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that my goal is to buy some time to have a informal conversation, see if we can work out an arrangement that is not embarrassing to President Erdogan, acceptable to the Congress, and see if we can get back in the F-35 program, see if we can avoid sanctions and start talking about a free trade agreement.
Okay. So let's do
that
through your.
All right. Well, I will call you back in a couple of days and let you know what President Trump says.
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay.
And also, the last few questions. Yes, you know that we have a problem now with a new organization in Syria that's called Limpopo.
Okay, I did not know. No.
So you know that we crashed ISIS, but the remaining
Right.
terrorists have created a new project.
Okay, well, I'm very interested in hearing about that. I have got to run to vote. Can I call you back later?
Yes.
Can we?
Yes.
Okay,
That's true.
let me run and vote, and I'll get back with you in the next couple of days and tell you where President Trump said about talking with President Erdogan. I want to hear more about this group. Okay?
Okay. Yes. And please write in our office so we're in touch with your
Yes,
office.
sir. Yeah.
Okay,
Should I talk to you or the foreign minister?
Yes.
Talk to you?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
So
talk to you. Yeah. Okay.
I talked to him about your conversations.
Okay, good. Well, you tell him that I will try to get President Trump set up a phone call between the two presidents informally, off the record, not public. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So you can do all things through me.
Yes, sir. Okay, I will go through you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Senator.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.